It was the 22nd day of the 22nd month of the 22nd year. I observed that fateful anniversary as I always do, wearing my old flight suit, pouring doubles of Crow-Croa, and watching home movies of me and my old pal from the Air Force, Goose. Not Goose, like the character from the 1986 Anthony Edwards vehicle Top Gun, but Goose. G-U-Z, short for Guzman. That's right, Luis Guzman. He was my wingman, my ace in the hole, my best friend. And from the way I was watching the old home movies and drinking quietly and all sad by myself, the viewer at home could put together he was dead. Dead because of my reckless bad boy devil-may-care ways. Monsieur Goose, I whispered to myself through tears. The tape ended and the screen went black. Black like death. The tape over. Over like Goose's life. I got up to take a real foamy piss when there was a knock at my door. Why don't you knock on the door of someone who won't let you down? I shouted. When the door got kicked in, it flew off its hinges, and I could see the intimidating shadows of two short, slight men backlit by the sun behind them. They walked into the room, and it took a moment for my eyes to adjust to the light. It was Brother Reed and Pastor Andrew in full military dress. They looked serious, like a heart attack, amigo. Brother Reed looked around the room with his arms crossed, breathing in the dramatic scene of my despair.
Pathetic.
He scoffed and spat on the carpet. Hey, I eat off that carpet.
Oh, shit, sorry, I got carried away.
Pastor Andrew pushed Brother Reed aside.
We've got a situation, and God damn it, I'm gonna regret this. You're the only one who can help. We need a reckless bad boy with a devil-may-care attitude,
said Pastor Andrew.
We need Mad Rich,
said Brother Reed. I sneered. Well, Mad Rich, whew, died a long time ago.
But you still wear the flight suit. Looks like it fits just fine,
said Pastor Andrew. I stammered, but Brother Reed cut me off.
You think you can still fly one of those fast birds?
I looked at him, puzzled. I can fly fighter jets, sure, but I can't fly a bird. That's impossible.
What if it's a really big bird?
Said Brother Reed. He had me there.
They say you've got jet fuel in your veins,
said Pastor Andrew. It was true. For a little bit after Goose died, I had a $300 a day jet fuel habit. It was pretty serious. Doctors say I'm gonna die young because of it. What are you gonna do? Pastor Andrew cut off my aside.
It's the Iraqis. They've got their hands on some pretty nasty missiles, and they're all pointed at the Crow-Croa facility in Toledo, Ohio.
My stomach dropped. But that's the cultural epicenter of Northwest Ohio.
You think we don't know that?
Growled Brother Reed.
You're the only chance we've got to stop these son-of-a-bitch Russians,
said Pastor Andrew. Well, I thought they were Iraqis.
Or North Koreans. Who gives a shit? We're packaging this story for the global market, and the enemy has to be vague, or else we can't get a return on the budget.
We all just looked around, wondering if we broke the fourth wall too hard. Brother Reed cut in.
You're to report to Tim Allen Memorial Air Force Base at 0800 hours.
I stared at him blankly. What time is 0800 hours? Brother Reed bit his lip.
That's a thing military guys say. I thought you'd know.
We've got no time for semantics. The Iranians could strike at any minute,
barked Pastor Andrew. Iranians? Iranians. Iranians? Iranians. 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 Iranians?
We're the Syrians, fuck you.
I didn't have a choice. Toledo was counting on me. Fine. I'll do it. For Goose. But let me make myself clear.
You're stalling,
screamed Pastor Andrew insanely. This is my one last job. Brother Reed smirked.
Now there's the mad rich I remember.
And he spat on the carpet.
Ah, shit. Oh, fuck. I'm sorry.
I chuckled. I'm not gonna need that carpet where I'm going. The sky! But first, I gotta do something.
And what's that?
Asked Pastor Andrew. I just gotta do a montage of me riding a motorcycle through the desert to show that time is leaping forward a little.
You haven't changed a bit.
Smiled Pastor Andrew. And there I go. Wow! Would you look at that? There's me on a motorcycle. Ripping through the desert. Whoop! Uh-oh! Ha-ha! Yeah! There's me passing a minivan with a Support Our Troops bumper sticker on the back. Hiya, kids! Whoa! They're waving back! Meow! Now I'm riding through an all-American town. Kids are running behind me in slow motion, waving small American flags and sparklers. Blonde-haired, blue-eyed kids. Ha-ha! I'm back, baby! Vroom, vroom, vroom. And now a jet is flying overhead way too close to the road. Ha-ha! All right, fade out. Fade out a little slower. All right, now fade back in. I'm taking my helmet off and walking up to a bar on the beach. Sweet. The bell over the door jingled as I walked into the bar. Some real down-and-out regulars stood there nursing sweating crow-croas with empties in front of them. Nautical ropes and fishing nets hung from the ceiling with pictures of airplanes and fighter pilots on the wall. And there, in a place all of its own, was a portrait of Goose, surrounded by candles.
We're closed!
Burped an angelic voice from the bar. She was turned away from me, crouched down, either washing pint glasses or throwing up. It was hard to tell, but I could recognize her from a mile away. Curly hair, powerful back, and a grade A dump truck. It was my estranged wife, Ed Jr., and she was as pretty as the day I'd met her. And I'll come back another time, if there is another time. Ed Jr. stood up straight. She turned around and wiped her mouth. I guess she was puking after all.
Well, well, well. Look what the cat dragged in.
Cat? No. I came by myself. On a motorcycle. She slumped her shoulders.
That reminds me. I need to find my cat.
Ed Jr. bit the cork off a bottle of aged crow and spat on the floor. She put 2 shot glasses in front of her and gave them a heavy pour.
Aren't you gonna pull up a seat?
I looked around. There aren't any stools. She slumped her shoulders.
That reminds me. I need to buy chairs.
I elbowed up to the bar. We cheers and I sucked the crow down like a chili dog in that John Mellencamp song called... I'm trying to remember. Ain't that America? No. She smirked. Something funny? I asked.
You think you can just walk in here and go back to normal? After you left me and our kids, Greg, Gorn, and Grin? They're all grown up now. As if you care.
My cheeks burned with shame. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't forgive myself for leaving my family in episode 64 of The Story Must Be Told. Ed Jr., no matter how hard I tried, I can't forgive myself for leaving you and the family in episode 64 of The Story Must Be Told.
How about you start with an apology?
She said, reckless bad boys with devil-may-care ways don't apologize. It's not in our blood.
Is that why they call you Mad Rich?
She poured another shot. I reached out, but she grabbed it and took it herself, sucking it down like a chili dog in that John Mellencamp song. Ah! I knew I'd remember the name of it, like, the second I left. No, they call me Mad Rich because calling me Maverick could get us sued. Then we were like, Mad Rick kind of sounds close to Maverick. And then we're all like, well, Mad Rick kind of sounds like Rick and Morty, and we're not going to touch that with a 40-foot pole. Then we settled on Mad Rich. It was the best we could do.
Who's we?
She asked. I picked my nose. The story.
I thought you gave that up.
I thought I gave up a lot of things. There was a silence.
Like what?
She asked. don't know. It sounded dramatic. Flying and stuff, I guess. Anywho, I might die avenging Goose's death and all, so are we gonna... Then I made that motion where you make a circle with your thumb and a forefinger and you put your other finger through the circle back and forth. It means fucking. She laughed.
I'm close for business.
It was worth a try.
Unless someone dies on the mission, then you'll be all sad and feel guilty, then we'll shack up and fall back in love. It's how all these stories play out.
Only if someone dies, huh? I vowed then and there I'd do all I could to make sure that happened. Well, I got stuff to do. Smell you later, I said, conscious of how long the scene was running. I turned to leave and got to the door when Ed Jr. stopped me.
Cardinal Ed.
She said, using my legal name. I turned around.
Don't get yourself killed out there.
I smiled. Getting yourself killed out there is my middle name. Ed Jr. cocked her head.
I thought your middle name was Derek.
I walked to the door, the bell jingled, I spun around. Jack and Diane! Oh my God! I cried out. She looked up. Huh? The John Mellencamp sucking on the chili dog song, Jack and Diane! She looked puzzled. I remembered she couldn't hear my inner monologue and I grimaced. Well, smell you later. I left again and promised myself I'd download Jack and Diane on Napster as soon as I got home. I walked into the mission room, dust on my flight suit from riding my motorcycle so fast that morning. Kind of a bad boy, you know, with a devil-may-care attitude. My old nemesis, Captain Mean-Min, was at the chalkboard wrapping up his briefing. He stopped and glared at me.
Mad Rich, you're late.
I lowered my Ray-Bans. You'd think I'd miss this party,
Well. Look what the cat dragged in.
said a cocky, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, white cis male. I stared at him, puzzled. Cat? I rode here on a motorcycle. There ain't a cat big enough for me to ride. The cocky guy stared down at his desk.
That reminds me, I gotta find my cats.
He said. Captain Mean-Min butted in.
Well, Mad Rich, since it's critical to the plot, I should introduce you to everyone. That guy giving you the grief, he's tough, man. He's tough.
Tough man interrupted.
Let's get one thing straight, Mad Rich. I don't fucking like you.
I frowned. We just met, man. Maybe you'll like me if you give me a chance. I just had to make this guy like me. It was the most important thing in the world to me. He spat on the floor.
Hey, I eat off that floor.
Shouted Mean-Min. Mean-Min continued.
That lady right there is Nerd Man, the nerd.
Nerd Man typed into a calculator. She wrote 07734 and held it upside down. It read, hello.
That's nice, man. It's pretty nice. And if anyone's gonna die, it's gonna be him.
A bland-looking guy from the city waved.
Ugh, and that's Dax. Dax Shepard. I don't know, he got in here. He must have a good agent or someone owed him a favor. I think he has a podcast. I have no idea.
Dax smirked and then he shouted,
Somebody stop me!
like Jim Carrey in The Mask. Everyone just looked down at the ground and Nerdman politely laughed.
Aren't you forgetting someone?
Said a pissed-off, familiar voice in the back. My heart dropped.
That's Orphan. He's an orphan. Bet you already knew that, didn't you? Yeah, reckless bad boy with devil-may-care ways.
Fuck me sideways. It was Goose's son. Yikes! I knew he would come back and bite me in the ass. Ooh! I said out of the corner of my mouth as I pulled at my collar.
Who you gonna kill next?
Orphan sneered. I looked around the room. I don't know, probably nice man like Mean-Min said.
I guess we'll see, won't we?
Oh, I was getting steeped. Is that a challenge? He lunged for me and grabbed me by the collar.
Fellas, knock it off. Save it for the skies.
I held up my hands. Hey, we're cool. Captain Mean-Min continued.
Here's the mission. The Libyans have 6 missile silos and they're all pointed at Toledo, Ohio.
Nerdman raised her hand.
I thought they were Afghan.
Or Nicaraguan Sandinistas. Fuck you!
Nerdman nodded in solemn agreement.
Anyway, you only get one shot. And we can't do a trading mission. We try to keep these episodes like 30 minutes maximum, running out of time. So you better get it right. But there's a catch. To raise the stakes and build dramatic tension, there's only one way you can take out the silos.
Oopsie poopsie. What's that?
Said Dax Shepard, trying to be funny.
You gotta fight fast. Super fast.
Said Meanman. He let his words sink in. Everyone looked around nervously, even Tough Man. I chuckled.
Something funny, Mad Rich?
Barked Meanman. Flying super fast is my middle name. He looked at me puzzled.
I thought your middle name was Derek.
It got quiet.
Do not go in there.
Shouted Dax Shepard, trying to break the silence like Ace Ventura Pet Detective. Everyone just kind of shifted in their seats. Dax Shepard blushed and slumped his shoulders. Idiot.
You think this is funny, Dax? Damn it! I knew this wouldn't work. Forget it, the mission's cancelled. How can you expect to pull this off without teamwork?
Nerdman shook her head, confused at this sudden jump forward in the plot. I mean, we were just meeting for the first time.
Adios, Toledo.
Nice Man whispered. Wait a minute. I cut in. They looked at me. I got an idea. I stole it from the 1986 Anthony Edwards vehicle Top Gun. Meanman smiled.
That old trick, ha, god damn ya. It just might work.
What's the plan, old man?
Asked Tough Man. I lowered my Ray-Bans. A little thing I like to call a montage. Montage. A sick guitar riff rang out. Meanman smirked and spat on the floor.
Shit, fuck. Oops.
Whoa! We're on the beach playing badminton. Look at us go! Ah, boy, look at those swim trunks are tight. Hachi machi. Nerdman's looking pretty good herself. Wow, we're all greased up, huh? Nothing wrong with a little sexual tension every now and again. No harm done. Whoop! Good save, Nice Man. Whoa, out of bounds. What? That looked like it was in bounds to me. Uh-oh, Tough Man's all mad. But now he's laughing? Ha ha, it's just a game, right, everyone? And there's Dax dancing, doing the fucking robot, that guy, Jesus Christ. But we're still having fun. Crazy how we're all coming together, right, Orphan? Orphan? Where's Orphan? Stop the montage. I walked down the beach while the sun was setting most dramatically. Orphan sat in the surf, watching a sandcastle get pulled out to sea. Here we fucking go, I said, rolling my eyes. I cleared my throat. Orphan didn't turn around. Cleared my throat again. Nothing. I hawked up a heavy one and spat it in the sand. Pooey! That got his attention. Nice sunset, huh? Your dad loves sunsets, I said, breaking the ice. Orphan scoffed.
He hated sunsets on account of being afraid of the sun. It was the only thing he feared. But that's just another detail you conveniently forgot, huh?
I had a flashback of Goose writhing on the ground, weeping, grabbing at my legs, screaming at the sunrise, begging it to stop. Just trying to make conversation, amigo. Orphan grabbed our hermit crab from the sand and threw it super far into the ocean. It splashed and then exploded into a ball of fire. One of Goose's old tricks. Learned that one from your old man, huh? I said. Orphan stood up with his fists clenched. He leaned forward, his face inches away from mine.
You think you can just come back from nowhere and be more dead now?
I reeled back and raised my hands. Whoa, whoa, whoa! No! Absolutely not! Just want us to be cool. We hardly know each other. Orphan shook his head.
You'll never be more dead?
I looked around. Perfect. I think we're on the same page then. Orphan slumped his shoulders.
I've been waiting to get on the same page for so long. But you'll need to earn me respect.
I will, on the mission.
But that's days away. I want closure now.
He whined like a baby. That's the best thing about a montage, pal. You can fast forward to whatever you want. Orphan smirked. Nada, boy, I said. I hugged him and we shared a kind father-son moment before he abruptly pulled away.
Forget it,
he cried.
Forget the whole thing.
What's the matter with you? I said calmly. Orphan kicked the sand.
I'm having a critical moment of self-doubt that'll make me quit the mission. It happens in every movie. The Avengers, Remember the Titans, Armageddon.
I grabbed his shoulders, then pulled away. Wait, is this a movie? I thought it was kind of an audiobook.
Oh, shit.
Orphan whispered. We both looked around nervously. Pastor Andrew, typing at his computer, stopped. We all stared at each other. Pastor Andrew's cursor blinked. Pastor Andrew said, his voice echoing in the sky. He finally went back, deleted the movie references, and continued.
Forget it.
Cried Orphan.
Forget the whole thing.
I watched him walk away, leaving a trail of footprints in the sand. A second trail of footprints in the sand appeared behind him. It was Jesus, invisible, trying to catch up so he could carry Orphan. I sighed as the story leapt forward in time, just as I said it would. Zoom! Whoa! There we were, flying in the sky super fast, but not fast enough. Not if we were gonna beat these Italians or Chinese. Who gives a shit?
What's your status?
Barked Mean Man over the radio.
Nerd Man, checking in.
Said Nerd Man.
Tough Man, checking in.
Barked Tough Man.
Nice Man, checking in.
Smiled Nice Man.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
Said fucking Dax like Austin Powers. Seriously, I don't get the appeal.
Mad Rich, do you copy?
I pulled a picture of Goose out of my flight suit and stuck it behind my instruments. Then I pulled out a picture of Orphan that I took of him while he was showering because it was the only time I can get a shot of just him and not the whole group. It's not weird. Don't worry about it.
Mad Rich, you're not thinking about Orphan to build dramatic tension, are you?
Squawked Mean Min over the radio.
Mad Rich, checking in.
I said, putting the picture of Orphan behind my speedometer.
The gang's all here. I'm getting reports that the Soviets are ready in their missiles. You need to fly super fast or else you can say goodbye to Toledo.
The Soviets? What year is it?
Asked Nice Man.
Or the Cubans, fuck you!
Said Mean Min.
Pedal to the metal, folks!
I cried out. We all started flying super duper fast, just as we planned. The target was approaching quick.
Who wants this?
Asked Nerd Man.
Don't mind if I do.
Smirked Tough Man.
Just remember, each of you only has one missile. That raises the stakes and the suspense. This is Storytelling 101, people.
Tough Man hit the afterburners and locked on.
Tough Man, slot one, fire.
The missile screamed towards the target when a critical error buzzer went off. The missile fizzled out and crashed into the desert or the jungle. I don't know where we were. Fuck you.
Ah, frick.
He cried out.
Nice Man, slot one, fire.
Nice Man's missile flew through the air, but fell just short of the target. It still had a bunch of guys in camo, and they all went blark and blew up and shit.
Phooey.
Nice Man screamed violently. Nerd Man sped up.
Nerd Man, slot one, fire.
The missile shot towards the silo, but went off course and hit an elementary school.
Yikes!
She cried out.
Don't worry, Americans won't care.
Reassured Mean Men.
I love this damn country.
She said over the radio.
Oopsie poopsie, fire.
Shouted Dax. The missile just went in circles into the sky and then blew up into confetti. Something's wrong with that guy, for real. It was my turn. I hit the gas and went super fast. And I mean super duper duper fast. My missile locked on. It was our last chance.
Mad Rich, slot one, fire!
I hit the button when a ding 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 alarm went off. The missile was predictably stuck.
Good going, asshole.
Shouted Tough Man, even though his own missile missed, and I thought we were cool by now. It broke my heart for him to talk to me like that.
That's it.
Said Mean Man over the radio.
There goes Toledo. Abort the mission. Return to base.
The radio went silent before a familiar voice chirped in.
Not so fast.
Orphan!
We all screamed venomously over the radio. Mean Man cut in.
Wow, holy cannoli. You'd think we'd notice an $80 million fighter jet taking off an $80 billion aircraft carrier, but you must have slipped by. God damn it. It's good to have you back on board.
You think I'd miss this party?
Orphan sped up, and he went fast. I mean, super, super fast. Like, wow, so fast. So fast it was crazy. Meow! Zoom! He broke the sound barrier 60 times and a bunch of soldiers on the ground exploded and their eyeballs popped and shit. Everyone who didn't die started themselves on fire.
I'm locked on! Open slot 1! Fire!
The missile flew through the target. Time slowed down. The sound effects went to signify we were in slow motion and to build suspense. Then everything went whee! Time sped up right as the missile hit the target. Kapow! Ba-bang! Kapow! And it didn't just hit one target, it hit all the targets somehow. Come on, you need a happy ending. What is this, high art? Get out of town, bucko. We'll still get an Oscar. The national anthem played over our radio. The streets of Toledo went insane with joy. Ticker tape fell from the few buildings downtown. People hugged. A sailor kissed a lady. Then it devolved really quickly into violent looting and chaos, but the press will cover that up. Don't worry about it. Hundreds dead. There we were, flying back to base from France or North Korea. Who cares? I flew next to Orphan and contacted him on a private frequency.
You did good, kid. Your dad would be proud.
Maybe.
He said.
No, for realsies. Like right before he died, he said that if you shot a missile silo against all odds, he'd finally be proud of you after a lifetime of disappointment. We were gonna have a flashback scene, but there wasn't time, and we felt it would disrupt the flow of the story.
Yeah? Well, what about you?
Well, what about me?
Are you proud?
I smirked.
God damn it, kid, I've never been more proud in my life.
Then I guess you're my dad now.
He said happily. I remembered the mission briefing. Right after I said we were going to go into a montage, Mean Man said that if Orphan blew up everything, I'd be his dad. There was no going back.
I guess I am,
I said.
Say, Dad, didn't Ed Jr. make you a promise?
Oh, shit! He was right! Her voice echoed in my mind.
Unless someone dies on the mission, then you'll be all sad, feel guilty, then we'll shut up and fall back in love. Tell all these stories play out.
Oof! It'd been so long and Daddy was hungry. I wasn't gonna let this opportunity pass me by. I felt a lustful twinge in my healthy loins.
Hold tight, kiddo. Mad Rich has some unfinished business.
Never waste a chub, friends and neighbors. I sped up real quick behind Nice Man.
Hey, you're a little close, Mad Rich. Ease back.
Nice Man said over the radio. But nothing was gonna get between me and that fine dump truck. So I nudged him a little.
Whoa,
but when you're
hey.
going 1,900 mph, that's really all it takes. Nice Man Wilhelm screamed right before impact. Tough Man came over the radio.
Mad Rich, you dirty dog.
Everyone cracked the fuck up and laughed super hard. And most importantly, I'd finally gained Tough Man's respect. Sorry if that wasn't super clear and if I got distracted with the Orphan and Goose plotline. Look, kids, it's important to gain the respect of bullets. That's what I want you to take away from this. And freeze frame, title card, Top Gunners. Now, like, cool but calm music is playing. Near. Okay, now it's a bunch of black and white photos of the squad together. Near. Ha! Yeah, there's an old one of me and the Goose. Oh boy, there's one of me and Nice Man playing a prank on Mean Man. Wow. Now one of me and Tough Man high-fiving. I gotta frame that. And then, oh shit, wait. Stop, one more thing. I did seal the deal with Ed Jr. Locked it down on the first try. Squirt, slip, plug, blambo. And after 13 months, a baby popped out. Within a year, he was flying jets just like his pop. And here's the kicker. He looked just like Goose. I don't know, kind of confusing, but I felt like we should put a button on that plot line, especially with the Tough Man misdirect. And it was the best summer of my life. This story must be